Okay, can everybody hear me? Okay. It's so nice to be here tonight and to be able to speak for Colorado Uplift. I'm extremely nervous, not because of who you are, but I'm nervous because I have so much to share that it's hard to put it all into a small, tiny little speech and say, this is the thing. But when I think about Colorado Uplift, I think about impact. First of me in the home that I grew up in. So a little bit about where I came from. My mom was an addict. My dad was bipolar. In my grandmother's foster home, we had anywhere from 15 to 18 children in the house. When I met Mike Riley, he would come in his van, pick us up, and take us out of the house and do something different with us. It wasn't just about being in a summer program, at a summer camp. It was really about building relationship and teaching me a skill set I didn't know I really needed until later on in my life when I was going to be challenged with some of the hardest things I've ever dealt with. And Uplift did that. That little bit of impact had me seeing myself in a different way, had me looking for something that I hadn't thought I could ever look for before. Uplift taught me how to teach. It taught me how to use love in a good way, not manipulative. It taught me how to value people, and it taught me how to be confident. I didn't know I would need that till I left Uplift. When I found myself the ex-wife of a very abusive man, raising a daughter by myself, still dealing with illiteracy, because what my teachers at Uplift didn't know was that I graduated functionally illiterate from high school. I was able to pretend well enough to do what I thought I needed to do and what I could do, but not good enough to do what I needed to do to sustain myself in my life. And having a little daughter and looking at my life and saying, I have no idea what I'm going to do, and then realizing that my daughter had as many disabilities as I did, and I was going to have to teach her, I realized I had to go back to school, and I did. That's the second time I realized the impact of Uplift, because I started using the skills I learned in the classroom as a teacher in Uplift to teach myself and my kid at home. So I get up, 5 o'clock. My team knows this. Elevate isn't here too. But I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd learn what my kids were learning. I'd go to school, I'd go to work, I'd come back and I'd reteach. And when my daughter exhibited behaviors from her disability that made it hard for me, I went back to what I learned in in Uplift. I'm going back and forth between terms because I now work for both organizations. And it's so crazy. But I had to learn that. And then my daughter became my teacher mentor. And she said, Mom, you need to teach in public school. I said, I don't want to teach in public school. And she said, you need to. So she pushed me, bullied me to get my doctorate. And I became a special education teacher. And again, I needed my skills that I learned from Uplift. And I learned that through relationship, care, love, I could start getting kids off of their IEPs. I could start pushing them to go to college. I started doing things with them. And it changed my world, not just theirs. And it made me a better mom. And it made me a better human. So when I found out that I was coping with autism, I again used my Elevate skills to learn how to look people in the eye, to learn how to stand up tall, and to learn how to push my kids to go beyond the things that they thought were holding them down. Uplift, impact, life-changing. When we're up here talking about what this does to people and how the change is for people and why it's so hard to put that into words, we're talking about our entire lives here. I went from having zero vision thinking that the only thing I could do in life was get married and maybe have kids and just live in a house somewhere, to now I've been a teacher, a principal, an artist, a public speaker. Your fault. But I became something other than what I thought I could be. And that's because of Mike Riley, Vic, Salt, Marcy. I love you guys. I love you because of what you did for me and for my children and for my family. I love you for who you are. So I thank all of you for being here today. Not just because you're giving, but because you're allowing us to be able to say thank you, because we don't get to say it all the time. And it's really hard to figure out all the right words to say when someone has left an imprint in your life and on your heart. So I very much appreciate each and every one of you. And I thank you for allowing me to speak today. Have a nice night.